चल चल रेडी 3 अच्छा आज तेरे को इंट्रो देना है क्या
नहीं 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 तू कर मैं भूल गया हूँ पूरा।
एक बार
अरे भूल गया हूँ तू कर।
चल ठीक है hello and welcome back guys to another episode of It's a Silly World and we are back again with Somekan Barik. Some, how are you?
I am good and I am back.
Yup.
What about you?
Yeah, I am miserable. I'm really miserable.
So what's the reason?
So I use like really bad. Actually, they're not even bad. Like I use really soft pillows,
Hmm.
and because it has been a long time since I have changed them, and they have like they have sunken. Like they are not fluffy anymore.
Yeah.
So as soon as I put my head down, they just shrink to the minimum, and it doesn't even feel like I am using a pillow anymore.
So I have a suggestion
And
for you.
okay,
You can fold it and then use it.
see, I have tried that, but the thing is, fold करने के बाद वो बहुत छोटा हो जाता है.
वो भी है.
Like when you fold it, it's basically a square.
हाँ.
And then like midnight you will roll to a side and your head will fall off.
Hmm.
I have had that multiple times.
So what I basically use is like moderately soft pillows and not very soft, so that
Hmm.
it will not like shrink to the bottom.
Yeah. I genuinely feel like my head's not working right now. I'm that level of fucked.
So
Anyways, so yeah, we have a lot of things to talk about this week.
yeah.
One of them was actually while we were talking about your. First of all, how are your exams?
Like it was good, but like it was an open book test, right? So
Oh, it was open book.
yeah, like they were sending the exam papers in my mail,
Hmm.
and the thing we have to do was like we have to write it in like 2 hours or something, and then we have to
Yes.
send it in the replay mail, in the same mail, in a PDF
Hmm.
format, so that like they will evaluate after and all that. But like
Oh.
what we used to do is like we used to make a group of all the students like with the same set, so that everyone can do like one question, and at the end like we'll have the answers to all the
Yeah,
questions.
everyone can just mix it up.
Yeah. But all the questions are like numerical, so you can just search in Google.
Hmm. Okay, so yeah, talking about exams and colleges, have you seen that the government has suggested reopening schools like in phases from 21st?
21st, this 21st, not 21st September.
Yeah, 21st of September.
Yeah, but like not all the states. In specific states, they are like opening it.
Yeah. Some states have opposed it because of like how they assess their situations.
Yeah, like in our state also, like the schools are not opening in 21st.
I actually don't know about my state because it's like I'm kind of very confused because a couple of weeks ago I read that okay the schools will be reopening on 21st for class 9 to 12th
Hmm.
and you can basically go and clear your doubts and come back like in sort of a tuition kind of way like they will not run at full capacity and stuff like that but then I think last week I heard our chief minister give a press conference in which she said that the schools may not open completely
Yeah, I
so
think
yeah
opening schools is a really bad idea, considering the
dude
like number of cases.
that's exactly what I was wanting to talk about. I feel like this can really backfire really quick.
Yeah, like it has already backfired in America, where the schools are opening,
Yeah,
and like
yeah. It has already backfired in a lot of places,
hmm,
and like if in case you don't know, England, like England or the UK as in whole, is about to go back into lockdown. Like they are at a stage where lockdown can be imposed back again at any moment.
hmm,
Like I think it was last week they reduced the number of people that can gather from I think how many to 6 like now only 6 people can gather together.
Yeah. Even like in India, there should be a lockdown, but we can't afford it. You know?
Yeah. I also, it feels like the news and the all over media reporting of corona has gone down significantly.
Yeah.
Like people are now no longer as much worried about corona as they were in probably like March or April when it had started.
Yeah, the first 4 months was like all the news channels were only like broadcasting news only about corona. So like all the people have like heard it so many times that you know what I'm talking. Like
Yeah, like the ignorance is building up now.
slowly, like they are fed up of the war.
Yeah. And I think it's not just about the ignorance, it's also the fact that earlier the media was almost like up in your face, like this is dangerous, you need to wear
Hmm.
masks, you need to stay
Hmm.
inside to live. And now they are like, okay, we need to reopen the country. And
Chill maro.
a lot of them are not actually even reporting.
Yeah. Now they are like deflecting to other newses.
Yeah. It feels like the narrative around this whole situation has changed completely drastically. Like the news I'm reading on my phone through my own research is very different to
What the national media is portraying.
exactly. Like I haven't seen I haven't seen more than 5 news channels display like the number of cases and stuff like that in a long time. Like earlier there was a counter on every news channel about how many cases are there, like how many new cases, how total number of cases, total number of deaths. But now that is no longer there.
I have lost count of the total number of cases since like what 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. Because the coverage has gone down significantly now.
Yeah.
The last I know of like number of people that died was 75,000, and it probably is more right now.
Yeah, but like some are telling that even now we haven't reached the peak cases. So like
Yeah. I have studied like I have read a lot of studies that are indicating that we haven't hit our peak yet, and there are also some studies that are suggesting that there will be again like a really huge rise in numbers once again at any moment. And then there are also studies that the numbers that we have of the number of people that got affected and the number of people that got cured or the number of people that died is not actually very accurate, and that it can be significantly different. The real number can be significantly different.
yeah.
So that's one thing I'm actually very, very worried about.
Also, I don't know about your state, but in my state, like the lower level, in the lower level of the like testing and like taking care of all the cases, it's very bad. Like the situation and all the
Yeah. I don't think testing is up to the point where you would expect it to be.
they are like we don't have kids, and like even if one is found corona positive, they are not taking care of like what he will do, what he will eat, and all the
See,
medicine.
That's one thing I have noticed. Like there have been about 2 employees in my father's company that he works in that have tested positive for corona, and yet the company hasn't been tested for corona yet. Like the whole company hasn't been tested for corona yet.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And coming back to the opening of schools, like if you think about it logically, what the hell is wrong with man? I'm actually sick and tired of my neighbors.
Yeah. What?
This is literally the third consecutive week that I'm recording my podcast and my neighbors decide to stamp or something like that.
Why, man?
The week before this week, I was recording podcast with Siddhant and my neighbors started to drill. Last week when I was recording my podcast, they started to hammer.
So what will happen now?
I don't know. I just heard like stamping noises.
Shit.
Dude, like I'm actually so fed up. Anyways, coming back to my point, like if you think about it logically, the opening of schools, you have to think that from consider about age of 12 to age of 30 or 40, people have the better immune system, and like our bodies are at our peak performance.
Yeah.
And so like if we catch the COVID, there are high chances of us actually getting cured from it, and like it won't affect us as bad, and like in say 15 or 20 days we will be fine.
Hmm.
according to what the survey has shown us till this point.
Hmm.
However, when you consider that, say in my class there are 120 people, and say in one particular section 20 people come at this college at the same time, okay?
Hmm.
Now one of them has tested positive.
Hmm.
I mean, he hasn't been tested, like, but one of them is positive and nobody knows about it. Now when he comes to the college, those 20 people catch COVID, right?
Yeah, like the number of cases will increase exponentially.
Exactly. And now when these 19 other people that were not positive earlier, when they go back to their places,
Huh.
then their parents and their grandparents might catch that as well.
Yeah.
And now what happens is, in our case, it would not be so severe, like we would probably recover
But
easily.
they will,
But
yeah.
when our parents or our grandparents catch it from us, then it's something really risky.
Also, we are not 100% risk free. Like,
Yeah, we are not 100%.
Nobody,
Nobody, I
yeah,
think, is
nobody,
100%
yeah.
risk free, because I have genuinely seen people like really suffer who were like in their prime. You would consider like 25 to 28. I have seen those people suffer from it, and yeah, so nobody is really safe. But if you talk about the odds, we actually have the better odds.
yeah, we're better odds.
And even then, like, it's a messed up situation, really. Like, it's more about what your grandfathers or grandmothers or your like old people might suffer because of you.
Yeah. Also, you talk about that giving exams, NEET and JEE in your previous pods, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
That was such a messed up situation. Like, I don't think I have talked about it since
uh,
on the podcast. In the last podcast, I don't think I talked about it. But so the person that I know, like one of my closer friends that was giving NEET, she got delayed by about 30 minutes because of poor transportation.
Oh,
Like, that was 30 minutes of her exam gone.
yeah, and it's not the first year, right?
Yeah. And then you have to think that, like, there she will not be the only person that has lost time because of this whole situation.
Oh.
Like, ऐसे सोचना, अगर 500 लोग भी देने गए थे एग्जाम,
तो हाँ,
even if like 30 of them are late, those 30 people are suffering because of this whole situation.
yeah,
And there's no thing as extra time in NEET or JEE.
that though. But in Odisha, they arranged some buses and they gave some contact numbers for like all the students that don't have transport, so that they can pick them up. So that was a right decision. But like they should have delayed it, man. Like in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't actually get the point of conducting them, because
क्या करेगा? Like
they are saying, wait, agar, like, they are saying the results will be out in October, and I'm saying, like, even if the results are out in October, what do you do after that?
yeah.
Because surely, like, you cannot have your whole session start in like online classes.
नहीं हमारा तो start हो रहा है.
No, like, our session is starting, but I'm saying, like, your first semester of college to start in an online course,
नहीं वो करेंगे online ही.
that's messed up though. Like,
Yeah.
you don't even know who your classmates are or what you are even really getting into. And as much as we say that technology is the way forward, I don't think we had the facilities to be conducting online classes at full strength like we are doing now.
Also, like all the students who gave like JEE and NEET, they thought that they have the thought in mind that like after they after they have given the exam, and if they succeed, they will like live a better life, and like they have fun, they will have fun, they will like do things in college.
I mean, we already know that's not true.
That's not true. But like they will not will have to they will not be allowed to explore in college in the
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like, being completely honest here, I think because of the whole situation, they will be saved some disappointment. Because I remember my first days in college were highly disappointing.
तो तुझे लगा है कि अभी स्टूडेंट ऑफ द ईयर टाइप का कुछ सीन होगा
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
उधर 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 चिल्ला रहा है अपना सिक्योरिटी पर्सन अबे तेरा आईडी दिखा और फिर
Yeah,
तू क्लास जा रहा है या
in our head it's so different. Like in our head the picture of college was so different from what college turned out to be in reality. Like everybody told us like, okay, you study for these 2 years and then it's like a party in college, and then you get to the college and there's no party.
and they will tell that अगर तू तेरा प्लेसमेंट हो गया तेरा पार्टी ही पार्टी
Then they are saying like ये 4 साल पढ़ लो उसके
हाँ।
बाद तो मजे हैं. And then of course I know
अगर तेरा प्लेसमेंट हो जाएगा जॉब भी हो जाएगा वो बोलेगा अबे 1 साल गुजार ले फिर तेरा रेज हो जाएगा फिर तो पार्टी ही पार्टी
yeah
फिर
there's
अभी
no party.
या
Like
देयर इज नो पार्टी
yeah. So yeah, Acha, I read this I know that this is very random, but I read this very amazing part. I don't think I read this. Maybe I heard it. Whatever. Do you know where the Apple company's name came from?
Yeah, I have a vague idea. Like when Steve Jobs visited India in his youth, he visited an apple farm, and I think he liked the name Apple and like gave them. I don't know the real reason. You can tell me.
Okay, see, that's not the real
Okay.
reason. And this is something that I actually asked a lot of my friends about this, and there were so many different answers.
Okay.
But I was actually listening to a podcast which was discussing the autobiography of Steve
Yeah,
Jobs.
like I have seen the movies of 2 movies about Steve Jobs, but I haven't. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, in his autobiography, he discussed that he actually went on a like fully fruit diet for a time,
Oh,
and in that time, like his favorite fruit was apple.
Oh.
So that's what he decided to go with. And when you actually think about it, it's such a random thing to name a whole company about.
I haven't heard that before. Like,
Yeah, see, I asked a lot of people about this, and there were so many like random answers. Even a couple of my friends were telling me like, you know how you smoke marijuana through an
yeah.
apple?
No, oh no. Oh no. I just knew that like he in 1 year or something he only like he smoked marijuana and like roamed around places, but no. What about this like apple in marijuana?
Yeah. So there's I don't know
But-
exactly what this is
Yeah,
about,
like-
but I heard it from one of my friends that in like the Himalayan region, they
smoked
basically smoke marijuana
marijuana.
through an apple,
but
or something like that. Like I'm not exactly sure, but from what I understood from him is that they put a pipe into an apple or something, they smoke marijuana through it,
oh.
and that's how Steve Jobs named it Apple. But apparently that wasn't right.
But like there is no exact and correct answer to it, right? Nobody knows. Only he knows.
These people that I was hearing the podcast from, they discussed it based on his autobiography. So that's the only thing I can guess ki haan, it's probably.
Oh, autobiography. Okay. But like even if like there are 2 movies about Steve Jobs and I have seen both the movies and it wasn't mentioned
Okay.
like this particular thing was not mentioned in the movies. So like yeah.
Yeah.
This would have like read the autobiography before making the movies.
But
na?
then nobody thinks like that. Can you imagine though? Like it's such a random thing to name your whole like this big of an empire after.
Yeah.
Like it's like me starting a company tomorrow and naming it Banana. Okay, no. That's a very bad example. That's a very bad.
And, what about Peach?
Okay, that again, not appropriate, I would say. That was really stupid. Anyways, so yeah. Coming back to the corona and whole of that situation. So I wanted to discuss what are the things that you learn in lockdown. Like what are the things that you would probably continue to do once the lockdown ends and once the corona situation is over? And what are the things that you basically learned from this whole situation because of maybe you have been thinking about it or stuff like that? So,
Yeah. So like
hmm,
I started playing volleyball uh, from the starting of lockdown, and like the game grew in me, and like I am now like practicing volleyball daily, and like it is providing me like the happiness. Like I don't feel like I'm in
hmm,
lockdown because of volleyball. So like that is the one thing that I would like to continue. And also like I started coding more and like thinking about me more, what I want in life, like my goals, like what I want, like uh, what I will do
hmm,
in future and all the things. Like you have like a lot time to think about you, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because of the lockdown, you don't have anything else, and you are like in short meditating about yourself sometimes.
Yeah, like I have been doing a lot of overthinking. Like when you compare myself to you,
Yeah, like yeah, the byproduct is overthinking.
yeah, like I am normally a person who thinks about myself a lot anyway, like in the
Hmm.
normal situation.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's like it's very like it's compounded a lot. Like now I'm thinking about
Hmm.
it all the time. I'm thinking about things that I probably would not think about, and I'm overthinking about things that I would normally think about.
अच्छा सी आई देख ओवरथिंक तो मैं करता हूँ, ठीक है,
Hmm.
वो चलेगा, ठीक है। मेरा क्या होता है बोल तो आई थिंक अबाउट ए थिंग लाइक बहुत रिपीटेडली, समझ रहा है?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
लाइक एक चीज के बारे में इतना सोचूंगा, मतलब कुछ लाइक तू सोचेगा फिर तू कंक्लूजन लाएगा ना वो चीज के
हाँ
बारे
हाँ
में, कुछ
हाँ
भी
हाँ.
सोचेगा तो उसके बाद उसको तू फिर सोचेगा और फिर वो कंक्लूजन लाएगा। मेरा वैसा हो जा रहा है, लाइक आई एम थिंकिंग द सेम थिंग रिपीटेडली कभी कभी। सो दैट्स अ बैड हैबिट ऑफ मी।
Yeah, see that happens to me on a
या
daily basis. Like every day I wake up with this positive energy that today I'm going to do it all. Today I'm going to conquer the world
ऑल
and
दैट, या
like on that kind of energy. And then the day happens. I start overthinking everything. Like I think about things more than I do things. And that's like for even the smallest of things. Like um I have started jogging now, and now it's become a schedule.
दैट्स अ गुड थिंग।
But yeah, but like earlier, when before I was starting this, I would think about going for a walk or going for a jog till like 5 p.m. from like 3 p.m. Like, do I go or do I not? Do I want to? Do I don't not want to? And then I would think about it so much that it will be already 5 p.m. and I'm not ready, and I will like, okay, screw that, I'm not doing
हाँ,
this.
we'll do it tomorrow।
And that happens about a lot of things and like every
हाँ।
day. Like last week, I called Dev up just like I just wanted to talk,
Yeah.
and even for that, it took me like about 2 days to think: do I call him? Do I not?
Yeah.
And like no, for no apparent reason, like because Dev and I talk quite regularly, and even then it was kind of like अभी करूँ वो सो तो नहीं रहा होगा कुछ कर रहा होगा क्या and it just ends I just end up not calling him. Like I have been playing this game
कौन सा?
called
Among
Among
Us?
Us.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Yeah. So I have been playing that for the past couple of days.
See, your neighbor is the imposter.
Dude, my neighbor is imposter and a crew member all by himself. He's destroying himself and destroying me in the same process. Like I am the collateral damage of his destruction. That did not make sense though.
Yeah. You have to reject him out.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm saying things that will not make sense in this podcast because of how dysfunctional my brain is right now.
You are high from sleep deprivation.
Yeah, exactly. Um What are we talking about?
I just don't know now.
Okay, screw that. Uh, Going on to next thing, which I was wanting to talk about the gaming scene right now.
Hmm.
So there has been a lot of things that have happened since we started our podcast in the gaming scene that we never really talked about
Hmm.
for some reason. Like Dr. Disrespect got banned on Twitch, then he came back on YouTube.
Also, he collabed with Scout. That also happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that happened as well. And then I think Ninja came back to Twitch.
Also, Shroud. I don't know about Ninja, but like I know Shroud came back to Twitch.
Yeah, Shroud came back to Twitch.
Yeah.
I think Ninja did a test stream or something, and after that, I did not follow that situation up.
Hmm.
And then, obviously, Fall Guys became a huge thing.
Fall Guys, Valorant, Among Us.
Well, yeah, and now
Yeah.
Among Us is really peaking right now.
They are the three horsemen.
Dude, like, what's the worst part about it? Fall Guys is not fun when you play it alone.
Hmm.
And then you, get about, 3 or 4 people, and then you don't get a match.
Yeah, cause there are no server.
It's
Yeah.
so frustrating. Yes, the day before yesterday,
Hmm.
I was playing with a couple of friends, and
Yeah.
highest I think we waited for like 16 minutes for a match.
So which one? Fall Guys or Among Us?
Fall Guys.
Oh, like you have purchased it on in stream.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Like it's so frustrating. It took me 16 minutes to find a match, and I'm like, yeah, at that point, it's more like I'm waiting for a match more than it's playing.
Okay, now when the Indian audience and players are increasing, they should really add an Asia server.
Yeah, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like there are not as many people as you would think that are playing the game.
Cause of the price issue, na? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hmm.
Like Among Us has been peaking because of that, because Among Us is free,
Hmm.
and like
And yeah.
I get an invitation at about every hour for Among Us now.
But also Among Us has also server issues in mobile.
Yeah, it definitely has its own
Ah.
issues.
Hmm. But it's really fun to play.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Even if Fall Guys and Among Us did not have a graphics type of game, but like the strategy makes it more appealing.
Yeah, and at the same time, I feel like Fall Guys is more like Fall Guys is a very refreshing change for the whole gaming scene. Like I feel like for the past couple of months, I would say, game.
It is dominated by like RPG and all the shooting games. Yeah.
Yeah. It was getting the gaming scene was very over saturated with games like Modern
Yeah,
Warfare or
CS:GO,
like
Valorant.
PUBG and stuff like
Valorant
that.
तो अभी भी है.
Yeah, this was a really chill game to play, and like you can actually enjoy yourself while doing it if you could get matches. Yeah, like I genuinely believe if Fall Guys can have a Indian server or something like that, it will be extremely enjoyable.
Also, yeah, they were telling to like they tweeted like they will release a free game for India or something like that. I don't know the exact words, but they can release a free game. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have no idea about that. So, thing with Among Us is like Among Us is a great game, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's more fun to play with your friends. And I don't think like problem with me is there are not
Ah.
enough friends that are playing it.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's always a problem. It's like every time, like back when PUBG versus COD was a thing,
Hmm.
I was like very heavy on Team COD. Like I never really liked PUBG for a long time,
Hmm.
so I only used to play Call of Duty, and like 90% of my friends play PUBG,
PUBG. Yeah.
and I'm like
I also played PUBG. So
I don't get any matches because of that. Like matches as in I don't get any friend to play with.
but now the PUBG friends must have shifted to COD,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. A lot of people have shifted from COD, but at the same time, I stopped playing COD like a couple of months ago, so it doesn't even matter right now.
But like there will be a new version, PUBG version.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
think.
yeah. I think 4G is one of the things that is being talked about a lot recently.
No, like the real PUBG will
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back.
The real PUBG is coming back with Gameloft, I think.
No, no, I don't think Gamelot, but like the real, the Krafton Union, like the real
Yeah, like the
company that,
original
yeah,
one.
yeah, that the one that supported the PUBG PC.
Yeah, maybe I think I last heard about like they are releasing the season 6 with Gameloft, and maybe that will bring it back. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I also read an article about that, but like there was a spelling mistake in the article, so I didn't trusted it.
Yeah. Who knows? To be honest, at this point, I don't really care. Like,
Hmm.
I have really grown out of that whole genre, to be honest. I feel
Yeah,
like
but
we have played that genre so much in the last year or so that it's no longer like interesting to me.
like before that, there was no these like team games that were available
Yeah,
with,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I think
uh,
PUBG really made a breakthrough.
breakthrough in, yeah, India and esports in India and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Esports in India really gained from PUBG, and like the
Hmm.
whole culture of like playing with your friends became very popularized because of it.
Yeah.
Like earlier, I think from my memory, the only thing I can remember similar to that was Clash of Clans. But even
Hmm.
then, it was more kind of like there was no voice chat in Clash of Clans, right?
Yeah, voice chat. Actually, what foiled PUBG to its top game was, in my opinion, is that it had an in voice like talking feature with your friends, and like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like, for example,
Hmm.
Among Us is really not fun with strangers because like it's just dumb.
Hmm.
Like you don't know who are you talking with.
Also, you don't remember the name and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And at that point, it's not really even
Hmm.
fun because with your friends, it's like you argue about
Hmm.
anything.
Anything.
Like he
Yeah.
accuses me of being an imposter, and then I accuse him
Yeah.
back. Like genuinely, I was playing this
Hmm.
morning. I was playing around with a couple of
Yeah.
my friends, and I got kicked out about 3 times when I wasn't even an imposter, just because of the fact that I thought somebody else was an imposter.
Oh.
And 2 out of 3 times I was right.
Okay.
Like one of my friends, we have been friends for like ages now, like more than 15 years at this point.
Hmm.
So whenever we play together, it's like either he will be in the game or I will be in the game because we are always going to vote for each other.
या एंड लाइक मैं भी खेल रहा था, तो
Yeah.
मैं एक दोस्त को बोला, तू हो सकता है क्योंकि तू ऐसा करता है रियल लाइफ में, तू ही सैबोटेज करता है सब, तो उसको हम निकाल दिए. So that,
Okay.
yeah, that happened.
And he was not,
Yeah,
right?
he was, yeah, obviously he was not the imposter.
Yeah. It's fun. Like you can really like get underneath the nerves of your friends like that.
Hmm. Also like, तू मतलब कुछ भी बोल सकता है वहां पे, मतलब there are many funny screenshots in of Among Us circulating in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
net. Yeah, one is
Definitely.
like, मैं तो इतना ये हूँ, मैं घुस ही नहीं सकता बैंड में, ऐसा बोल रहा है वो.
Dude, like
Yeah,
there are so many dumb things going
yeah,
around.
so dumb things.
Anyways, so yeah, that happened.
Yeah, also I remembered a joke. The only time Americans vote is in Among Us.
Yeah, I think even you can put that in India as well. Like,
Okay.
what's our
That's a
highest?
nice tweet, like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah, yeah,
nice
yeah.
tweet.
That definitely that would bang.
But I
I
don't
think
have
the
followers.
last time I saw, yeah. To be honest, I feel like I don't know. I mean, I would not speak about you, but I feel like I am not the best person to be on social media.
Hmm.
Like, I just don't know how social media works, to be honest.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I have seen like my exact thoughts
copied
get
and getting, yeah.
yeah, get copied and get like hundreds of thousands of likes.
Hmm.
But just because I don't have enough followers, there's no way that I'll be getting that.
Yeah, like I think like what I have understood is like there is a threshold followers that you should have to like your tweets to potentially
Bang.
bang. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Huh. So like below that, even if your tweets are like funny and all like
It
bangable,
doesn't matter.
yeah, doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like
Also like
honestly,
the,
there are a couple of my friends whose tweets bang, like not as in bang, like they get many likes and retweets, but like those are actually hilarious. And then they have like 3 or 4
Three or four.
followers, so it just gets lost.
Also like Desi Twitter doesn't retweet more. Like the Brit and American Twitter, they what they do is they retweet more, so that like if you have used Twitter, you have seen like many like what British and American Twitter users getting more likes and comments.
No, like Indian users do get likes and comments, but it's mostly because either it's very like polarizing and political opinion.
No, like normal thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. Normal thoughts don't really bang in India.
Yeah.
And if they bang, it's mostly like, honestly, in my personal opinion and my personal experience, Twitter, in the Indian Twitter, only way that you can actually have a banging tweet is if you are a girl and you're talking about sex. I swear to God. That's the only time I have seen that's the only time I've seen a humorous tweet bang.
Okay.
I have never seen a tweet get a lot of likes and retweets if it's not from a girl and not about sex.
We can discuss it in our unpopular opinion.
Oh, you don't think this?
No.
Yeah, we
No,
definitely need to argue.
Yeah, like not exactly, but like yeah, not the same.
Yeah. I mean, this is my personal opinion and I really stick to it.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen anything on my timeline that has banged more than that.
Yeah. We have a valid point, but not always. That's what I'm talking.
I mean, that's true. Given how much I think, probably 90% of things I'm
Like
thinking
no.
are stupid.
Like I was talking about this, like this point. It's not always true, but like sometimes it's true. Like that is what.
Okay. See, I actually had this idea for like an episode. For us to record everything for a week, like every single idea that we get, however stupid it might be. Like every idea that comes to the mind, we basically just record it instantly so that we do not forget it later. Like instead of actually sitting down and recording a episode, we will just record it in like hundreds of parts throughout the week. And then discuss the stupidest idea that there in that recording.
That's the pretty stupid idea.
That's stupid. That's why it could be actually fun.
That's why it will work.
Yeah. I genuinely have this belief that if something is stupid enough, it will work. Because like going by the numbers of like how many listens we get on our podcast, the most stupidest of episodes that we have put out are the ones that get most listens. And I can prove to you in the fact that Siddhant and I discuss a lot of really like serious things, and 80% of the times they don't get enough listens. Like our most listened to podcast till this date was the one we talked about, like Taylor Swift's album Ram Mandir and that one.
Oh.
And in that album, in that episode, we talked like about very random stuff.
Yeah, very random. Like
half of it doesn't even make sense. Last time I checked YouTube numbers, it was different. But then I don't really check YouTube numbers much because, like, to be honest, to the audience here, I haven't given a lot of attention to the YouTube till now. which I think might be one of the reasons that we are missing out on. Like that's potential audience that we might be missing out on, and that I want to focus in the future. But like, I mean, think about this. Not a single time I have made a new thumbnail or something for the YouTube clip.
Yeah, like that's thumbnail and other things are more important in YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know which YouTuber I was watching, and he was discussing how the thumbnail and the title are more important than the content itself.
Yeah. Like if you put the same thumbnail again and again, people will lose interest, and then they will not differentiate between two.
It's not even about the same thumbnail. It's about I don't even have a thumbnail. That is literally our like
Yeah.
our cover art and just a lot of
Yeah,
background
cover
blur. That's basically every thumbnail so far.
Yeah.
And we have like how many? I think 7. This is like 8th episode, right? Yeah.
But like, if you think we are evolving like as an podcast recorder, and like if you compare the first episode to this episode, you can see the difference. Where like,
Oh yeah, 100%. I genuinely like. I feel more comfortable in my surroundings right now.
yeah, like I was also so like not confident in the starting episodes, but now if you think, I am like more confident than the starting episodes.
Yeah. I think a lot more has to do with the fact that earlier I mean, this is something new for the listeners, but in the like starting couple of episodes, we used to make a list of topics that we wanted to talk about, and we will discuss a lot about those topics before even starting the podcast, and then we will discuss. Then we will basically talk about what we discussed earlier, and now it's like we have a very short conversation before starting the podcast about what we are going to talk, and usually it's nothing that we have planned.
Yeah, nothing. Like, we didn't plan this episode also.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I had no idea I was going to record up until like half an hour before this episode.
Yeah.
I was so hammered. Like my brain, when I say that my brain is not working, I'm very serious. Like this whole morning I have been losing my chain of thoughts so constantly, and like my day has been very terrible today, to be honest. Like I first of all I slammed my hand into like a slab.
Oof.
Like I was closing the door and I was so sleepy that I forgot to remove my hand from the door, and I slammed my own hand because of the door.
Oh shit.
So my hand is paining. Then I was going for a shower, and I forgot to take out my earphones from my shorts, and I put the shorts into the bucket of water. And my earphones were in a bucket of water for like half an hour before I remembered that.
It's a very bad day to you.
Dude, it's a terrible day. And then like I was lying down during my online class, and I dropped my phone straight onto my nose, and my nose was bleeding.
Oops. So what happens like when you have a terrible day? First, you didn't like you will not get sleep in the previous night.
Exactly.
And then and then small things will happen that will like slowly build up. And
exactly.
That will,
Then you will end up like having a complete breakdown.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I really think, like I have been wondering about, I feel like our breakdowns, like mental breakdowns, have been more and more under control during this whole lockdown. Like it's like they have found our like, especially for me, my mental breakdowns have found a whole schedule of their own. It's like everything is scheduled now. Okay, I have an online class from like 10 to 2. I will have a breakdown for like 15 minutes before that. It's like that scheduled. Like before the last episode, I was having a huge panic attack
Why?
because like basically I had messed up my laptop for some reason.
Hmm.
Like I didn't know what the hell happened. It shut off and it was not starting.
Yeah,
And
like why your laptops have so many problems?
dude, I don't know. I have like really terrible luck with electronics in general. Like
Oh.
if you come to my house, I have two microwave ovens.
Hmm.
Both of them do not work. I have a TV that does not work.
Hmm.
I have three monitors that do not work.
Oh.
I have two PCs that do not work. Now I have a laptop that doesn't work.
The list goes on.
I have about three phones that do not work. And like I have a very bad like
Even
experience
gadgets
with
don't
electronics.
go along.
And I have so many earphones that I have actually lost count at this point. Earphone and
Yeah.
headphones, it's like I need a new every other month.
But like apart from other things, when your headphone or earphone breaks or you lose it, like that's the most painful thing for me.
Yeah, honestly, like I do not, I do not, I don't want to say I do not care, but I don't feel as bothered when I mess up my laptop.
Hmm.
But
As
when I
well,
lose my
yeah.
earphone,
Hmm.
that like I know I'm going to have a bad time if I lose my earphone. That's a
Yeah.
sign.
Also, like
It's
there are not many good earphones in affordable price range. So
yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
you, yeah, so like,
That's the one thing that I've been thinking about for the longest time. Like this whole week, I was actually busy for the most of the week in order to like figure out our setup going into
hmm,
the future. Because like when I started this podcast a couple of months ago now,
hmm,
my idea was not to like be serious with it. Like this
yeah,
podcast,
yeah,
yeah, this podcast was basically going to only last during the lockdown.
lockdown and
And
like we're like having fun with it and like passing time. That was the main, yeah.
like we do not have a good setup even now.
Even now, and it was sort of an experiment to begin with.
Yeah. And to me, it was like lockdown ke baad, I had no plans to keep it
Hmm.
going.
Hmm.
But now I feel like this is actually a really fun thing, and like
Yeah.
I really enjoy this part of my week.
Hmm.
So if I am going to actually spend some time with the whole podcasting, and if I'm going to move it forward, I probably should think about my setup and think about actually doing something.
Yeah. Also, like this kind of work, like the podcast and other things, takes time to grow and to
Yeah.
like,
See, I'm not actually bothered about growing as such.
yeah, like when you enjoy a thing, you are not bothered about
Yeah.
growing
See,
as such and like doing that.
this is the same thing like my poetry or my book.
Hmm.
Like I have only ever published just one book
Yeah, I know.
that had like 42 poems in it.
Hmm.
I have written more poems that like if I compile all my poems, I can probably put out 3 more books.
Yeah.
But I just don't enjoy all of them as much.
Hmm.
So to me, it's more like enjoying what I am writing.
Yeah.
And if I don't feel like this is not good, it's just not good. I'm not bothered about putting a new book out every year or every 6 months.
Hmm.
Like if I enjoy it, I'll put it out. If I don't enjoy it, I don't really care about that. And that's the same thing with this whole thing. But like you see, as they say, you should not be making content that you cannot enjoy yourself.
And
And
that's
so to me, like the idea of this whole podcast is to make it something that I want it to be.
hmm. Hmm.
Like there are not many podcasts that I hear that are like two people just sitting down and chatting about things. Like it's
Yeah,
usually
they are like more technical and like
yeah, it's usually like more polished, or like they have
polished. Yeah.
they are very specific about the things that they talk about. Like they will only talk about particular TV shows,
Yeah.
or they will only talk about a certain sport or something like that.
Yeah. Makes it very robotic, right?
Yeah. And it's very polished, and I just want to
Hmm.
be as raw as possible. Which is one of the reasons that I've stopped editing the podcast as much. Like earlier I used to do like I would not put in any stutters into the final episode. I will edit everything out and make it sound as polished as possible. Now I just leave in as much stutters as possible, because then it's kind of fun. Then you see how much I stutter, and then you see how much I struggle with speaking. And this is one of the reasons, one of the podcasts that I've been really enjoying in the past few days is this podcast called The Expanse Cast. Shout out to them, by the way. And
Okay.
I might actually link them in the description or something. Though it's basically a podcast with three girls that I'm not sure about their age. I feel like they are teenagers right now. They sit down and talk about, like, they tend to talk about things that you would think are really deep, but at the end it's almost like you are hanging out with like three friends of yours, and like oftentimes their discussions are kind of like very enjoyable. Like, it's like they tend to go into like weird tangents while discussing very deep topics,
Okay.
and that to me is what is enjoyable. Like, that's the kind of stuff I'm more into.
We to go in tangents and also normals.
Yeah. That's a good maths joke.
Yeah.
Props to you for that. So yeah, that's what my idea is with this whole of this thing. And honestly, like, in future, I think we can do a lot more video episodes.
A lot
In fact,
more.
once this lockdown ends, I can actually go to Siddhant's place to record podcast with him. Like,
Oh, that
he
will be a
lives,
very good idea. Yeah.
yeah, he lives like an hour away from my place.
Oh, that's good.
So like, if this lockdown wasn't a thing, I probably could go over to his place, or he could come over to my place. At the same time, I'm actually a bit skeptical of how much I want to expand my setup right now, because I'm not going to be at my parents' place forever.
Yeah.
As soon as this lockdown ends, I'm back to college and I'm back at my own flat.
But if you like ये तेरा setup अगर portable होगा तो तेरे को कुछ फर्क नहीं
Yeah.
पड़ेगा.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm trying to buy mics that are portable, that like I can shift around easily, and like I'm trying to isolate this room that I'm currently recording in a way that it's not permanent.
हाँ.
And yeah, I've been trying stuff like that.
Also, what we can do is like even if we record our podcast in audio form, like if you are on a Zoom call and we record it, I think it will be more.
Yeah. Actually, I have told Siddhant we will discuss it later on off the record. Let's not bore our audience any further.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have been recording for like an hour now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we'll discuss a few things more before we let go of this. So one thing I wanted to discuss was reality TV.
Yeah.
No. Actually, we'll do that separate podcast for this.
Yeah,
because that's
it's a whole episode, man.
Yeah. I really need one episode in which we go down into reality TV and just discuss how stupid it is, or maybe some parts of it are actually decent. Like, I was watching Indian matchmaking.
What? Indian
matchmaking.
Okay.
And
that's Seema Taparia.
Yeah. It's not like, it's bad. It's really bad. But it's like a car crash. You cannot look away. You know it's bad, but you really want to watch it.
It's so bad that it's good.
Yeah. Almost like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we'll leave it there. We have been recording for an hour and 17 minutes at this point.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see you guys soon, and hopefully, just a little hint, stay tuned for the next episode. We might have a special guest on. And until then, see you guys. Stay strong, stay safe. And if you're going to go to the schools, take proper precautions. Wear masks. Take sanitizers with you, and do as much as things as possible to stay safe. And with that, we'll see you next week. And peace.
Bye. Stay safe.